Hello everybody and welcome to Panzer Corps 2. If you're not familiar with the Panzer Corps genre, they generally take place in World War II. They're turn-based strategy games and they are a lot of fun. Now the original Panzer Corps, some of you might be familiar with, came out almost, actually I would say over 20 years ago now. And that game was a 2D game. It used sprites and everything. And the game is very well known. Over 1 million copies sold now. Extremely popular. I never actually played Panzer Corps myself, but I knew of the game's existence and I had seen it before when I was much younger. But Panzer Corps 2 here basically takes that same game, brings it into the modern world with all new 3D graphics, all new assets, and built on the Unreal Engine. So I've actually had 4 hours now to play this game and mess around with it. I have had a lot of fun with it. And it's definitely something I know you guys are going to enjoy. But real quick, before we get started, did you know that almost 64% of my views are generated from people who have not subscribed to the channel? If at the end of this video you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It's free to do, and it helps the channel out a lot. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. It's going to be pretty cool here. Actually, we're going to be playing the Poland campaign. You can see I've already played a bit here. We'll go into the campaign and I'll kind of show you guys everything that the game has to offer. So here's Poland in 1939 here. And you can set the difficulty level. We're just going to keep it on Colonel for now. The game is extremely difficult. There is advanced options as well. All sorts of stuff you can play around with. And since a lot of you guys have not actually seen the game yet because it's not released, you can go ahead and pause if you'd like to take a look at some of this. You know, they got a turn limit here, which we're going to be playing with the term limit because it just makes it that much harder. We've got the Fog of War. We're going to be playing with supply, stuff like that, Shroud, Iron Man. And then there's a couple of different special challenges too, which is pretty neat. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We actually get an option here, which is pretty cool. So Panzer Corps plays historically, but it also allows different types of alternate reality stuff too, which is pretty neat. In this case, we get a chance to be part of the invasion of Poland in the south or in the north. I have already done the north a bit, but I haven't done the south, so we're going to go ahead and try that. That way it's a little bit more unknown to me and a little bit more challenging as I play through. So let's go ahead and give our general a name, obviously a proper name. And we can even select, yeah, that looks just like me. And what do you consider your strengths? So this is interesting, right? We can go ahead and we can build our commander as much as we want, make him as powerful or as weak as we want. But we only have a certain amount of points that we can use, and they are noted down here at the bottom. So we got one selection remaining. We can go through and see what all of these are. I'm not going to hit all of these in general, but I'll show you the ones that I've enjoyed taking. So first and foremost, the ones that I like going to are the Infantry General and the Panzer General. It makes your infantry and tank units cost 25% less slots. That'll make a little bit more sense as we get into the game. If you're familiar with Panzer Corps, then you probably know what it means. But those of you who are not, you shall see. The Deadly Grasp as well is pretty cool. Encircled enemy units suffer 2 times the penalties. I do like encircling in this game. It works really well. Difficult to do, but nothing beats a good encirclement. And they've got a couple other stuff here, but those are the ones I really like taking. There is one other one here, and it is Master of the Blitzkrieg. So all tanks will get +1 movement point, and they will get to cross minor rivers easier, because tanks actually cannot cross rivers. Makes perfect sense, right? This will allow them to cross a little bit smaller rivers. So we're going to go ahead and take the Infantry General. Now, we have 0 points remaining, but over here we can select a weakness, which will get us some additional points. Now, this game's obviously a very early beta of the game, and only a few missions are available. So some of this here, which looks a little kind of like not as intuitive, will probably change over time. I'm sure of it by the time the game finally releases. But yeah, there's a couple of different things here that could be useful. And I'm going to go with the slow modernization because I don't really use unit upgrading that much. It is cheaper to upgrade a unit than it is to build it. But I'm going to grab that so I can grab Panzer General. My goal is to make it so that I can field as many units as possible onto the battlefield. So Poland South, 1st of September 1939. I'm not, I know how to pronounce this, but I'm not even going to pretend to try to speak German. You have my congratulations on your new promotion, but now is no time for flattery. I have been personally informed that the invasion of Poland, codenamed Fall Weiss, is to commence immediately. Preliminary estimates for the operation's completion was 3 months, but now High Command demands the conquest of Poland in weeks. Mere weeks! Goddamn weeks. Primary objective, capture all victory hexes. These are victory hexes here. To this end, I have transferred a detachment of 10th Army forces to be placed under your direct command, effective immediately. These men are well trained, but like you, they lack combat experience. I am certain they will serve you well, and that you will mold your new Panzer Corps as you see fit in due time. Yeah, this is really cool because as you build your army, you get to roll them into each mission. But if they die, they die. But you can end up with really good squads of units, your veteran squads, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you can name different squads. It's pretty cool, okay? I'm telling you, you're going to want to stick around. You're going to love it. You should secure key crossings in the Warta River quickly to facilitate your movements and prevent enemy from fortifying the river line or possibly destroying the bridges entirely. To this, no, right here. I have also been informed that our declaration of war will be arriving later, so you should expect little, if any, resistance in the first few days of your advance, which is perfect. In fact, should you seize Kais quickly enough, I don't speak Polish either, your forces may be able to block Polish mobilization efforts entirely. This would force the understrength Polish garrisons in the region to fight without reinforcements. I eagerly await to see the results of your first combat operation. Don't make me regret putting my trust in you. All right. We won't, buddy, we won't. So first and foremost, the game does look pretty good. Now, I am playing on the highest settings here. I will say that for some odd reason, I've had this weird bug where it almost seems like the game doesn't focus. You can see when you zoom in, it looks good. But when you're zoomed out, it's kind of like, it doesn't look like it's focused. But it is. It's just, like I said, this is kind of an earlier version of the game. So let me go over what everything is real quick. I'll be quick about it, and then we're going to get right into the good parts. So we've obviously got the main menu here. Over here, we have purchase units. So this is actually where we can buy all of the different units that we can field and deploy. As you progress through the campaign, you'll unlock different technologies, and these units will continue to improve more and more. So that's kind of cool. We got a chat screen, so I'm going to go ahead and say that there is multiplayer in the game, which is neat. The mission overview and our unit list itself. Let's see, right there's the mission overview and our unit list. These are the units we currently have out in the field. Now, right now we are in our deployment phase, so we're going to go ahead and move some of our units. That way we can kind of better position this because I'm not entirely sure I'm happy with the layout. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay, so to move your units around, if you want to redeploy them, we're currently in the deployment phase. All you simply have to do is go ahead and undeploy them and then redeploy them. Now, right now, we've got some Grenadier forces up here in the front, and then just some riflemen in the back. We have artillery down here, infantry. Over here, we've got some panzers, and we've got a recon unit. So the recon unit can move right up and probably seize this very quickly, but I'm going to undeploy it and redeploy it just a little bit closer. The artillery, I'm actually going to move... no, I'm going to leave the artillery there, but I'm going to move this infantry unit over, and I'm going to move this tank up, because I want my units to be as close as they can be, and we can break off into here, but we probably won't do that too much. We do have ourselves a fighter, probably not too useful unless the enemy has... air, which they do have some airfields out here, so it's very possible that they do. And now, up here in the top, guys, we've got two things that are pretty important. We've got our prestige, and we got our total slots available, including our core slots, used core slots, and free core slots. So, the prestige is essentially, think of it as like money. That's what you're going to use to purchase your units. The core slots, essentially, is how many units you can have on the field, and each unit is worth a certain amount of core slots. So if we go here into the purchase screen, I've got 1200 prestige, and there's a couple of things I want to buy. First and foremost, I want to get a pretty big, bad tank out here, another one, because you can never have too much. Firepower. Next, I would like to get myself another artillery piece. So we don't have an anti-tank, but we could get a pretty nice artillery. Or at least even another artillery. I think I'm going to go with this one, though. Now we'll go with the little bit cheaper one. And we'll place that, actually, you know what we might do? We might throw a truck with this. It'll make it a little bit faster. So we'll go ahead and drop that out. You can add trucks to all of your units, which is kind of cool. We'll drop a little bit more infantry with a truck. Got to get that blitzkrieg after all, pretty important. And then I'd like to get myself a bomber. And there we go. So that's everything we're going to have. We're ready to deploy. Let's go ahead and start. All right, and we get to take the first turn. So I could probably take my recon vehicle and move it straight in. Now, I have found that the best way to do this is to do all of your movement first and then do all of your shooting, because you can do stuff like encirclements and everything like that. So now, obviously, that was a poor move on my part. If you go to click directly on the city, more than likely the city is garrisoned and your unit here is going to get ambushed. You can see how that works, and I totally did that to show you guys how it works, and I didn't do it on accident. So we're going to go ahead and see. Now we can use our artillery to bombard this if we want to. And you can see this gives us kind of a range of what it would do to us and what it could do to them. It's not always going to do this. It's kind of spontaneous, but it just gives you an idea. Since we're using an artillery piece, it's not going to affect us because they have no chance of attacking back. But we can see here that we could do up to 4 damage or maybe more, somewhere in that range. That's at least my experience. I'm not 100% sure if that's exactly how it works, but I'm pretty sure it is random because I know that this flip-flops from time to time. Now, if we actually click on the unit, we can see how many units are in this squad. There is 15 units total. And since I did attack them, I've managed to suppress one of the units and kill one of them. You can also see their fuel. Since this is an infantry unit, they don't have any fuel. We can see the ammo that they currently have. Since they fired back at this guy, they've expelled one of their ammo points. And then how entrenched these guys are, which they are actually not entrenched, even though they are on a small village. So let's go ahead and get a couple more of our units in. Now we can see that we've got pretty good odds of doing damage to them here, especially because we're getting a bonus with recon, but they're also going to attack us back. So we're going to want to still try and help that some. We'll get our tank down in here and some more infantry, and there we go. Now we've got that encirclement, which means we're going to get a lot more of an advantage, because these guys here, they're going to start taking suppression points. Are going to start getting suppressed for every turn that they are encircled. You can see we get mass attack bonuses too, which is great, but we're still not done just yet. Let's go ahead and move this artillery piece up, and you can see we've got an artillery piece over here actually guarding the bridge. So let's get our tanks in there ready to go. I'm not even going to worry too much about this unit up here. I can have the fighter try to bomb it out, or the bomber go after it. We'll just go ahead and start doing a little bit of shooting on these guys, try to get them to run so they don't capture my city. And then this bomber here, we're going to go and suppress this, do some damage on this artillery piece, which is perfect. We happen to suppress half of them. So now when we go to attack, it'll be a little bit easier on our tanks. And we actually managed to push them off, which is good. So we'll be able to capture this bridge in the next turn. Or we can even capture it maybe this turn. Let's see. Nope, nobody else can move. All right, so now for this unit. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Now for this unit here, we're going to go ahead and attack them and try to get them off of this area. And since they're encircled, they'll more than likely be destroyed if we get them lowered. Now, there is an undo button. This is going to be removed from the final game, from what I understand, but right now it's in here for the beta. So that way, if you do silly things like make mistakes like that, then you can undo them. I don't have any intentions of obviously using it unless I make clicking mistakes, not just gameplay mistakes. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of bombing here. Excellent. A lot more suppression there. So now they're only fighting with about half of their force. Significantly better odds here. Let's actually use the grenadiers. The infantry are going to be a little bit better than the tanks. The tanks are not as good fighting in towns and such. And they completely and utterly surrendered. And the best thing, nobody else can move, but recon vehicles have a special ability where they can continue to move even after they've done something like attack. So we're going to capture that, get a little bit of prestige. All right, perfect. So everything has moved. And if you're not sure, you can always use the next unit thing here, but you can see everything's moved. We got a little bit of extra prestige, but let's go ahead and end our turn. And there is the enemy fighter. Not to mention they pulled right back onto the bridge. And managed to encircle my tank. But look at this. This is the first time I've actually seen this. I have never actually seen this pop up. I knew what it was, though. So 9th Panzer 38 TA has been decorated with Heroic Defense Level 1 award. So they actually earned a medal. Now it will remain permanently attached to this unit, improving its performance on the battlefield. So Survivor, as long as this unit has more than 1 strength, it will always survive enemy attacks. That is awesome. And that is just because I got the living crap beat out of it and managed to make it. All right, so let's go ahead and start moving units up. This unit here, we're actually going to want to probably move back and away. We definitely want to save that unit in any way possible. But we cannot replace it, unfortunately. And we couldn't even replace it where it was. So it might still go down unless I can get really creative here. And I could probably get creative by moving my artillery in and forcing some of these units back with artillery. And then we've got a fighter, which we're definitely going to go ahead and use. Do some damage on their fighters. And we've got a bomber, which I think will go right on this. Try to do some damage on the recon vehicle here. Still not going to help my infantry much. We're sort of bottlenecked here. I'm going to send my recon vehicle up to deal with this. I want to get this bridge under control. We've only got 15 turns to get this whole thing dealt with. So if I attack these guys, this artillery is going to do some damage to me. So I'm just going to go after the artillery. About 50-50. And we'll go ahead and replace this here. Not crazy about those odds, but we don't have too much of a choice. Let's go ahead and build some more units too. Purchase some infantry to deal with these guys. And we will move this artillery piece up so it can be better utilized next turn. All right, going after that tank, but not going after my same tank, which is good. Hey, maybe this guy will get a medal. Holy crap, nice. All right, I'm good with that. All right, we're gonna want to definitely replace this, but it's he's really doing a number here to me. Let's see if we can see what we can do here. Got to get this unit out of the way. There we go. Nice. We push them back some. Push them back a little bit more. Let's get our fighter in here. Try to see if we could take this plane out. Pretty close. They didn't do any damage to us, which is good. And these guys are almost down, but I'm actually going to replace that. And we'll use our grenadiers to finish them off. Okay, that's not going to help us at all. So this guy might as well replenish. Okay, we definitely are choked here. That is no doubt. We need to get across this bridge as soon as these guys are dead. Okay, let's get these guys over here. That'll give us the high ground, and now they're encircled. There we go. They're down. Time for us to make some serious ground up. We'll capture that with that unit. We'll go ahead and do some damage to this guy. We're trying to kind of run him down anyways. And they've got another fighter. And we don't know what's here. So at this point, we'll just go ahead and bomb this. $138 prestige. I'll go ahead and replenish this guy. All right. Well, unfortunately, we did fail to disrupt those immobilization efforts, so now we're going to have enemy Polish units coming in, giving us a hard time. That should be a quick cleanup. I actually overran him, so when you overrun a unit, you can still attack, which is nice. Let's get this bomber over here doing some damage. A little bit of suppressive damage there. We got to keep on these fighters as well. And then let's make sure we get our tanks in here. And a little bit of recon. So we can keep suppression up. Ooh, they can actually go for that there. But this guy's considered encircled now. And a little bit of suppression, so 6 and 5 of them suppressed. Excellent. So that's a free city if we want it. And this tank should give us no issues. And then we got this city, 4 more cities. All right, perfect. So I think we'll go ahead and leave it off here. We'll have to continue this campaign in the next episode since we are out of time. What do you guys think so far? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm really enjoying this game. It's kind of like a advanced version of chess. You know, we only got 15 turns to make a certain amount of moves. We got to capture all these cities. It's difficult, but it's doable, and it's definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you next time.